Yeah, incredibly disappointed, obviously. Most disappointed that we went backwards with the things that we felt like we were getting better at. Penalties, discipline, turnovers, not beating ourselves. So, we've preached it from the beginning of when this group got together in January that, we had to first learn how not to beat ourselves. And I thought we had done a pretty good job of that up to this point. Worked hard on it over the bye week and this week of practice. And it was almost like the opposite of the things we worked on happened today, especially offensively and special teams. So I did think the defense showed growth. The scoreboard's not going to show it, but they were able to get off the field. A bunch of times they were put in some horrible situations by special teams and offense. So I think they battled and competed at a high level and got off blocks better than they had before and tackled better than they had before. So if you're looking for a positive, I'd say that's the positive.
Yeah, you were missing a ton of starters on defense. Do you have any updates on Pierre Royster, Kamarian Crumpley, Eli Innes? I think I hit them all.
Not now. Not now. They just weren't able to play.
Was it injury related or was it?
I'll comment on that later in the week.
Okay, and then also it seems like their pass rush did a number on you guys. Just how did they complicate things for you?
It wasn't their pass rush. Some of their pressures, which we worked on all week long, they're not real complicated. We should have handled them well. We had some breakdowns and assignments. And listen, I'm never going to sit up here. We put a lot on the quarterback. We're never going to sit up here and blame the quarterback, but he was not at his best today, and he'd be the first to tell you that. So, but we got to get better everywhere.
And then you start the second half there when you get the stop, you get 3 and out right away, and don't capitalize on that. How big of a swing was that? That moment there?
I think there's a lot of momentum swings that went against us. We were just atrocious on special teams. You missed 2 relatively easy point-scoring opportunities and turn it over on special teams. That's a massive L. And then offensively, when you have a chance to grab momentum, and we're one of the better avoiding 3-and-outs teams in the country, and we just missed some very easy things that had seemed like they were not issues for us. Like we kind of take them for granted that we've been pretty good on first down and getting drives started and playing in positive yard situations, and we just get stuck making bad decisions and going 3 and out and stuff. The penalties hurt you. When you're not sharp mentally, it hurts you. So we got to figure out why that was, because we really had grown offensively and we were excited about what we could become, and I think we need to relook at some things and try to gain an understanding into why today we took a step backwards.
Coach, the defense started off strong. What players stepped up and impressed you on that side of the ball?
Yeah, just all their effort. I thought Jonathan Allen, Emon Smalls, the interior defensive line, pitcher and Hightower made a lot of plays. JV, Jeremiah Vessel, fitting the run from the safety position. There's a lot of things, and I got to watch the film, but those are the things that stood out. They competed really hard. They really did. And Army puts a lot of stress on you in the run game. We knew they'd kind of go back to what their mentality has been. They got a little tricky in the first couple games. They hurt themselves. They went back to old Army football where if they get 3 yards 4 times, they beat you. So we knew what to expect, and I really did thought the defense grew a lot today.
How backbreaking can that 18-play drive be, especially with 2 fourth downs? How do you kind of recover?
Well, I think we did recover. We get the game to 7-7 after it. I thought the guys on the sideline were great. They weren't hanging their heads. They weren't frustrated. They knew, offensively, you knew that could be a possibility. So we talked about, you may be not playing for 10, 15, 20 minutes, and how do you deal with it? So I thought the big pass play to Strap got us going, and we scored there. It was disappointing to give up the points at the end of the first half in a 2-minute drill where a team, doesn't practice that a whole lot. But again, it was self-inflicted wounds and stuff that we have just worked relentlessly hard on trying to fix. But it's a lot like parenting, right? You parent your kids, you tell them a lot of things, you try to instruct them to do the right stuff, you're maniacal about addressing stuff, and they don't always do it right away. So That's kind of how it felt today.
Silver lining too on offense with Javon Jackson getting the running game.
No, I don't think there's any silver lining. We knew we'd be able to run the ball if we kept the game close. We wanted to be balanced at the end of it. Really, the bulk of the run game's a couple runs that we busted. You know, the stats lie. You know, we got yarded. We have 100 yards because we had 2 big runs. We were terribly inefficient offensively, and I'll take the blame for that. You know, I'm an offensive head coach, and I'm in every meeting, and I do. You know, most of the offense is blessed by me, and I'll take the blame for this. I obviously didn't get them ready to play.
Were there some things offensively that you saw coming in that you felt like you would do better than you did today? I mean, did you see anything?
Yeah, I thought this could be a 80% completion day. You know, I thought this could be a day where we can march the ball with short to intermediate passes, run the ball efficiently, you know, capitalize on every drive opportunity. They're very simple defensively. Now, they play really hard, but they're very simple, and there should be no reason why we made the decisions we made offensively.
With Jalen, was it both mental and physical today, the stuff that you saw?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of both. He was not sharp in either. And again, he's made so much growth. He's such a fantastic kid and player that I think you have to look yourself in the mirror as a coach and say, did we ask him to do too much? You know, we ask him to do a lot. We've never shied away from that. But I think, and I really believe this, the more I'm processing in my head, I asked him to do too much in this game. There's no other explanation because he made mistakes today that he has not made, which tells me there's a little bit of a system overload. So I'll completely take the blame for that. He has grown so much. I think he's going to be a fantastic player the rest of the season and play football for a long time. But I got to better understand what he's ready to do at this point and give him the tools to do that.
On that mental note, this has been such a different game in terms of just the time possession. Does that take a toll on the offense, and did that maybe drift into the focus?
I mean, again, I hope not. David just asked me the same question in the radio, post-game radio, and we talked about these things. I mean, we sit in meetings for countless hours. We practice relentlessly. We talk about how different the game can go because of who your opponent is. We talked about, hey, there may be 15, 20 minutes where you're not on the field. How are you going to handle it? Visualizing plays, you look at the iPad, you throw a little bit, you keeping your legs warm. What are you doing, receivers, offensive line? What are you doing? So we try to prepare for those things. Now, it is weird. You know, the word I would use is it's definitely a weird feeling when you don't play that often. But you do the best to prepare for it. And at the end of the day, you know, you still have to go out and like, hey, you're there, he's there, the ball should go there. Or, you know, he's lined up there, that's where you block him. Like if you just simplify it to the most basic form, how long you're off the field shouldn't matter. I mean, we'll go in a practice environment and the first period of the day is after special teams, then we'll go do a bunch of stuff for 25 minutes before we run a team play. And we expect that first team play to be executed at a high level. So it's not like this never happens, but it does feel a little awkward and weird when it's going on.
Do you feel like the player, you said that you wanted to see players step up, and if they didn't step up, they were going to play. How do you feel like they reacted to that message, not just in this game, but just throughout the week?
Let me see the film a little bit more. I thought, listen, obviously how you practice during the week does not represent itself in games. I've experienced this for 2.5 years now, but the mentality for how they practiced, how they went to work each day, their enthusiasm for the grind and the battle, their sticking together in tough times, how they rebounded from Tennessee, how they handled the bye week, all that stuff's very positive. But that doesn't matter till you take that and then go apply it to the game. Now, I'm glad as we're going through this adversity that we have that as kind of our culture, that they're going to come back Monday and get after it. So, you know, I'm pleased by the character of this group of people. Now we just have to, you know, take what we work on during the week and have it carry over the games.
All right, Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you.